You're live. Bonjour. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the podcast, live from Paris, France. If you are a listener on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to your audio platform, I highly recommend checking out the YouTube so you get check out the Eiffel Tower in the background. It's kind of a cool view. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, we're here. I want to do a quick podcast, but before we get to all that, little life recap as I'm sipping on my espresso. Hold on. It's good stuff. But yeah, I am in my last morning of the trip. I fly back to LAX in a few hours, so I got a couple of hours here in this hotel before I have to check out, and then we head to the airport. So I gotta do this quick and fast. And but yeah, as far as the trip has been, it's been amazing. We've in the 3 weeks we tackled 4 different countries, over 10 different cities, and it's been insane. And like it's really exhausting. I'm not gonna lie, it's very tiring because we're staying in a city for less than 48 hours, if not sometimes 72 hours, depending on the city. But it can be very tiring after like a week and a half of, all right, you land, you check in, okay, we can enjoy that same day because you're exhausted already, so you enjoy that same day to make it worth your while. And then we have another full day the next day, but then we're like, okay, now we got to figure out what city we want to go to, and then we got to figure out either get an Airbnb or a hotel, which is the cheapest option, what works best for us, and what is our travel logistics, how are we going to get there, either via plane, train, or bus. So yeah, it's been pretty tiring, but it's freaking worth it because we're seeing so much, man. We're seeing so much in like such a little time. I know it's not the most ideal way of traveling. I know a lot of people like to plan according like 6 months ahead. That is not our style. We like to go with the flow because we've been making last second audibles. Like, you know what? Let's go to Porto instead of going to Bilbao, Spain. So that's literally what happened. A couple of times where we were supposed to go to north of Italy, and then we ditched the rain because the weather was kind of crap. So we went south and went to the island of Mallorca, and that was paradise. And I'm so glad we did that move. Another move was like, from Madrid, we're supposed to go to north of Spain, but we decided to ditch that because Bilbao didn't seem too attractive. And so instead, we went to Porto, Portugal, and our flight ended up being cheaper to go back to Paris because we fly back from Paris. But anyways, apologies on the noise. It's the middle of Paris, so it's getting quite busy right now. It's like 9 in the morning, and things are picking up here. It's so interesting compared to Europe and back home in the States. Things start so early back home, where here things start like around 9 or 10 a.m., 11 a.m. sometimes. And it's just cultural differences. It's so unique and so fascinating, which is why I love traveling, because you get to open up your eyes a little bit and experience other cultures and see their norms compared to ours. And it's just, I don't know, just comparing both is like pretty interesting. I find that fascinating. But anyways, today I want to talk about the travel gear that I brought to this trip. And I'm going to start off with the backpack. So as far as the backpack goes, is this Incase Pro. I think it's called an Incase DSLR Pro. I've had this backpack for 6 to 7 years now, and it's still holding it right now. It's still holding good right now. I got to have a couple of these little knobs that are disappeared on me just with time, but it's still holding. I love this backpack because it just has a sleek look, in my opinion. It doesn't scream, hey, I'm a backpack, I'm a camera bag, come rob me. At least to my knowledge, it doesn't. And I know a few people that have these too, and they've said that they love this backpack as well. So I'm glad I made this purchase. I will eventually, once this backpack does get destroyed, I will end up getting probably another backpack of the exact same one, because I just love this backpack so much. It's literally seen the world from Central to South America to now Europe. This backpack is I love this backpack. It has a variety of pockets. You can fit up a laptop too. I usually could fit 3 camera bodies, sometimes 3 lenses on top of that, and a drone as well. So I can make it work. It's not the biggest backpack because I don't like huge, nasty, crazy looking backpacks, camera bags, and I like a sleeker look, and this has been working out perfect, and I love this backpack. So again, links will be all in the description if you are interested in anything that I'm using. So yeah, this is the backpack that I used, and I'm gonna start off with the cell phone, of course, the iPhone 14 Pro. This little beast it's been one of my best friends for the entire trip. I got the flash on, one sec. And yeah, all of my stories, I literally been through the iPhone 14 Pro. I literally have people asking me every single day from this trip, like, dude, how do you do your stories? And I'm like, I don't know, man. I just use the iPhone 14 Pro. I do a little bit of corrections with like the colors and the contrast, and that's pretty much all I do. And of course, you got to learn how to shoot well. I'm not shooting like this with one hand like most people do, and they have shaky footage. I'm literally going like this with two hands, have a nice steady shot, and plus the stabilization in this camera is already phenomenal. And so my shots look like it's shot in a gimbal. It's pretty cool. So if you guys are interested in seeing some of my stories, check out the highlights on my personal Instagram page, _Mendoza_. Shameless plug right there. Also, for traveling, Google Translate, Google Maps is going to be your best friend. If you don't want to have international data, you don't want to pay for it, which I actually just relied on just strictly Wi-Fi because I didn't want to pay $10 a day. With Google Maps and Google Translate, you download the specific language of whatever country you're going to visit, and you download the specific area in the map. I mean, I've actually downloaded some countries because they're so small, like in Central America. But like I could, like for example, Paris. I download the Paris map area, and then I'm able to use Google Maps offline when I'm off of internet or Wi-Fi. So Google Maps and Google Translate, it's going to take you super far. Like it's giving me directions to like each metro, and I'm not like a super city guy, so I don't know how to really take the metro like that. But with Google Maps, it makes it so easy. So it's like we've been saving so much money than relying on just freaking Ubers. But yeah, Google Maps and Google Translate, it's going to help you. Oh man, this Eiffel Tower just looks amazing. But anyways, I've been shooting a lot with this on video, and I've been doing a lot of photography with this, with the 3x zoom and the 2x zoom. With these three cameras, it's just so good. The quality is so good, man. And granted, I'm not even shooting in RAW. I know you can shoot in RAW, but I'm trying to preserve storage. So I'm just shooting the regular format, and I'm just doing, again, quick little adjustments, like a little bit of saturation, a little bit of vibrance or contrast, lower down the highlights. It's all about the exposure. So I always underexpose my shots, and then I recover it in post, if that makes any kind of sense. iPhone 14 Pro has been really clutch. My main camera has been the Sony a7S III. I currently cannot show you right now because I'm filming right now, but that is the workhorse for both video and photos. I might get some pushback in regards to the photos because the A7S III does 12 megapixel stills compared to the average camera does 24 megapixel stills. And I know they have the A7R4, A7R5, they do like 40 megapixels and 60 megapixels. It's kind of ridiculous. I believe in like if you shoot the stills perfectly right in camera without worrying on doing much in post-production as far as cropping goes or framing goes, 12 megapixels is perfect for me. It's good enough for Instagram, and it's not gonna be amazing if I were to blow this up like on a huge landscape on the wall. No, it's not gonna look great because 12 megapixels. You want something a little bit more juicier. But for Instagram, it's perfect. I've been shooting amazing stills with this camera, and it's been amazing. And the videos, I mean, we don't even have to talk about the videos. You already know what the videos. 422 10-bit, 4K 60, 4K 120 frames per second. It's been a freaking beast. So A7S III is what I'm using for my travel camera. I know some travelers, they bring two camera bodies because just in case. And I'm one of those people for at least work purposes. But for travel, it's like I'm fine with just one camera body. As long as I take care of it and I'm aware and I don't get jacked, then I'm going to be straight. And that's the camera body. The lens, let's talk about lenses. I'm currently also rocking the 17 to 28. I haven't really used this lens that much. I've only used it just for the podcast. And I knew I was going to record at least one podcast during the trip, so I decided to bring it. It's fairly small and compact, internal zoom, and it's very light, so it's not a space eater. So I decided to bring it, even though I haven't really done much as far as like taking stills or videography, but it's been pretty good, man. It's also great for photography. I mean, I've loved using this lens for photography, and that's what I got. And yeah. Another lens that I used was the Tamron 28-75. This lens has been a beautiful lens. It's been stuck into my camera the entire trip for the most part. If I walk out to explore a town or a city, and I don't feel like taking my backpack, which happened a lot this trip, I would just take the camera body plus this, and it's been great, man. I just 28-75 is like the perfect zoom. It's like, yeah, it's external zoom, and at 2.8, it's pretty great in low light. But yeah, 28-75. I've been getting amazing stills. So if you guys are interested in seeing some of the photography or even video, again, go to my personal page and you'll see all the stuff that I've shot throughout the 3 weeks of my Euro moon. Another lens that I was very excited to bring for this trip, because I don't think I've ever taken this lens to any trips, was the Sony 70-200 lens. This lens it's a gorgeous lens, man. Having 200 millimeters in your disposal, it just gives us such a unique look with that compression. And this is the f4 version, not the 2.8 version. But I believe with the f4, I mean, it's just good enough with the compression and the background blur, because at 200 millimeters, you're just gonna have that nice creamy bokeh. I'm not a bokeh snob, so I don't need to have everything at 2.8 or 1.4. I adjust to my liking, and it'll save you another $1,500 if you decide to get the f4 version instead of the G Master 2.8 version. But this lens has been cool. I have taken some pretty cool shots with this. Even last night with the Eiffel Tower from this range, I was able to get some creamy details of the Eiffel Tower and just anything in general that I see interesting. Because say if I'm shooting, like I like to shoot just like the surroundings of each town that we've been going to, and I don't want to shoot locals like right in front of their face. So I like to be low key and discreet. And with the 70-200 lens, I could be across the street shooting a guy from the other side of the street, and he or she has no idea that I'm shooting, which is a little creepy, but I just want to get that ambience of the towns that I'm visiting. So 70-200 lens, I'm so happy that I purchased this lens. By the way, Facebook Market, that's where I got it, for like $600 discount. So it was a hell of a deal. I'm very excited to use this lens, and I'm gonna continue bringing this lens to most of my travels. Next up is the DJI Mavic 3. Not the Pro version, just the Mavic 3 with the 2 cameras. This thing has been, I mean, obviously, you've heard me gas up this camera or this drone so many times. It's just amazing everything. Like some of the stuff that I've been filming has been just gorgeous. Like the fact that I can manipulate colors. If it's like a cooler day, I could literally manipulate it and make it look like it's a sunset. It's been amazing shooting with this freaking drone. Although in Europe, it's a little strict, so you gotta like just be careful and check out your local laws. Like places like here in Paris, I cannot fly in Paris. It's just a no-fly zone. And places like Barcelona, like I cannot fly in Barcelona. Just like major cities, you're just not allowed to. Which I understand why. You don't want to come see something really cool and just freaking hear buzzing the entire time. Rome as well. I mean, it would have been, just imagine. I know people can fly in Rome or like places like Paris at the Eiffel Tower, but you just need to go through so many hoops and hurdles to get the green light from local authorities, pretty much. I've seen there's this one guy that I see on Instagram that shoots like the Colosseum, or they've shot Paris Eiffel Tower. But it took them like 2 months to get the official green light. It's a slow process. It's like going through the DMV. So I don't have that time. I'm in the city for like 2 days, and I didn't game plan, obviously, since we're running and gunning this trip. But yeah, I mean, it's whatever. I still have my other cameras. I don't want to rely on just drone stuff all the time. But some of the cities that I've been hitting, like for example, like Porto, Portugal, you'll see it here. I have shot some pretty great stuff, and it's just gorgeous, man. I just love this freaking drone. I've done so much with it, and yeah, I mean, I'm always bringing a drone with me. I only have one drone. Again, some people like to bring, like for example, like the DJI Mavic, the Mavic 3 or the Mini 3. That's very small and compact, so it's less noisy. Where mine is like kind of a beast, like it's pretty massive, and I just got to be aware of my surroundings, and I don't like to pop the drone up in a populated area. I like to like go in a little corner by myself, so I'm not distracted. I can focus on the shot, focus on my surroundings, and make sure I don't crash or hurt anybody. And yeah, that's the DJI Mavic 3. It's good stuff. With all the content, I needed a laptop, and I have the Dell Inspire laptop, Inspiron laptop. And I've had this laptop since 2017, I want to say, or 2018. So this thing is not the latest and greatest, obviously, but it's been holding it down, man. I'm able to edit 4K footage. I'm able to edit 4K 60 footage. I'm able to edit 4K 5.1K drone footage, all D-Log as well. So you need to do a lot of heavy color grading in post. And it's been holding it down, man. Again, I mean, I do convert my files into proxy files to make it easier on the computer, which I just discovered like 2 years ago. And I should have done this from the very beginning, but I didn't know. But now I do. So proxies, that's the way to go. This thing has like 16 gigabyte of RAM, not too much internal storage. I think it's like a 125 or 128, something like that. But again, I use my external drive. I have this little pouch thingy right here. I'll explain right now. Well, while we're at it, I have, of course, my SSD, 2 terabyte SSD, not the 4 terabyte one. I left that one at home in case something were to happen. But I have, this is like my travel active SSD that I've been putting everything on here. And going back to the laptop, I put it in this pouch right here. I know it's kind of hard to see, but kind of like that. And it doesn't dangle off the computer. So I don't like that happening. I always get freaked out that it's going to accidentally disconnect from the computer. So I got this little pouch for like 10 bucks. Again, links will all be in the description. But going back to this laptop, this thing is love-hate. It's so, this bus is like literally right here. This thing is so massive, and it's actually quite heavy. And I always envy MacBook Pro users because they have such a small, sleek, and beautiful look of a computer, of a laptop. And it's like so light as well and so thin. And you can just put it in your bag anywhere. And it's like, damn, like I wish I could do that. This fits in my laptop still, like believe it or not. But it's just so heavy and it's so bulky. And it's like the downfall of going the PC route over the MacBook Pro route. But I'm like contemplating on whether to get the MacBook Pro or if it's even worth it now, because I hear like the new MacBook Airs are like fire and it's even smaller too. So I need to do a little bit of research in regards to a portable laptop to take for the travels and whatnot. But yeah, that's the laptop. Miscellaneous things such as, of course, you need a SSD pouch. I've talked about this in my episode 2 or 3 episode or whatever about all my gear. But this thing, I mean, I have all my SD cards right here. I have an extra SD card here, and I have like the drone adapter as well, and micro SDs as well. And it's always good to have this. Other things like gotta have a blower. It's always important to have a blower. At one point, I was changing lenses at the beach in Mallorca, and it was just such a windy day, and so I noticed that some of my shots I had some stains there. Or not necessarily stains, but I had like dust particles, and I could see it was clear, obvious. So with this thing, I was able to blow it, got rid of it, and yeah, always bring one of these little blowers, man. It's gonna be your best friend. Headphones, man. You gotta have some headphones. These are the Beats Studio earbuds. These things are great. I used to have some cheaper Skull Candy wireless headphones, and I just hated them because one time in a flight, they were just so loud I couldn't hear anything in my actual headphones, earbuds. And so I eventually invested in getting some earbuds, like the Pro version that had a noise cancellation. And then, dude, once I got a taste of noise cancellation, it's just a game changer. Like, I know I keep saying game changer, but honestly, it is. You'll never want to go back to regular headphones or regular earbuds. Noise cancellation on a plane or on a train or on a metro, it's just like you don't hear anything, and you're concentrating on either your podcast, your music, or your Netflix that you've downloaded. I cannot live without these babies. So every time I travel, these are always with me. And in case something were to happen, like if the battery were to die or something, it's happened before in the past, I still have my regular Apple headphones. This will get you by, but I always bring backups because one time when I first got the earbuds, they died on me accidentally. I guess the thing didn't close all the way. And so I was screwed. And like, man, I wish I had like either a battery bank or some regular headphones just to cover my butt. Speaking of juice, I also always carry this whenever I go travel anywhere, is the just a battery bank. This is the Anchor battery bank. I've had this thing for 7 years, I want to say. This has 3 different USB ports and also micro ports. Is that how you say it? Whatever. But yeah, I know it's a little outdated because everyone's going USB-C, but I always have a converter at USB-C from USB to USB-C as well. So that's also something that I can't find. I know I have it somewhere, but always bring a converter. It's always good for the iPhones as well to charge. But this thing, yeah, this thing is pretty juicy. Like it's like literally, it's like, it takes like hours to charge, but once it's charged, like it's gonna last you almost forever. I've been like charged this since I got here, and it's been 3 weeks. So if I'm ever in a pinch and I need some battery, I can just plug it in right here. Either I could plug in my Rode Wireless Go's, I could plug in the camera, I could plug in the iPhone as well, and just have it run. Also, almost forgot. These little disposable cameras have been super fun to use for the trip. We brought 2 of these bad boys, and these things come out really good. I don't know if they're really cheap or not. Kristen, are these things cheap?
They're like $15, $20.
Kristen says they're about 15 to 20 bucks. So I don't know how expensive that is or not. It has probably like 25 rolls of 25 images, I think, per roll. And the key thing is take it to an actual professional camera store that's going to develop them. And also, if you're ever going to use these, always use the flash. Always use the flash. One time we had these and went to a trip and we didn't do any of this. We didn't use the flash and we just took photos in a perfectly lit environment. And then we took it to like a Walgreens, I think, or a Walmart, and the images came out like shit. So the key is, thanks for the homie Rafi for this pro tip. Always use the flash and always take it to an actual professional photography store that's going to develop it, take care of these images and actually do it right, not just do it fast and quick. Cool. One more other thing that I have as well is I have a little camera wrist strap that's attached to the A7S right now. It's always good to have one of those things. Kristen got me this like a few years ago, and I've been loving it every time I go handheld, especially for traveling, because you don't want to accidentally get, not accidentally, but you don't want to get jacked like really quick. Someone just sweeping by, running and grabbing your camera. This is attached to my wrist. I can't show you right now. Well, actually, this is the little wrist strap. It's attached to the camera, but that thing has been, if I want to go out and about, I wrap it on my wrist. It's secured on me. Even if I were to accidentally drop the camera, which has happened a couple of times, I know it's going to dangle on my wrist, so it's not going to fall and break or anything like that. Of course, always bring batteries. I brought 2 different Sony batteries just for this. I didn't bring a battery charger because I just wanted to keep it light and tight. So when I do charge, I just literally plug it into the USB port on the actual camera body itself, which I usually never do because I don't want to take a chance of risking and breaking those ports because they're notorious for breaking. But whatever, I took this chance. So yeah, I didn't bring the actual Sony charger because again, that thing's a space heater as well. And I've also obviously brought these Rode Wireless Go mics. It's been great. These things are amazing. I didn't bring a shotgun mic though, because I know some people like to get the ambiance of the town that they're at or the environment that they're at. I've come to slowly realize that it's easier for me to cheat that by getting some high quality sound effects or environments of sounds on like Artlist or something like that. So if I needed like a metropolitan sound ambiance with the car sirens or something like that, trust me, I could find it within 2 seconds. And it's probably going to be a little bit better audio, concentrated audio, rather than using a shotgun mic. So, plus my shotgun mic, my specific one, my DJI V Pro, that thing's a space eater, and I just didn't want to pack that. So, yeah. So, everything that I just talked about right now all fits in this backpack, believe it or not. So, yeah, it's been a hell of a trip with all the gear that I've used. I try to keep my trips as minimal as possible. I literally bring this camera bag, which is my personal bag for the airport to know, and then I bring a carry-on bag, which is also very small and compact. And I bring packing cubes as well to like put all my socks or my shirts, and I just separate them, and it all fits in there, man. And so like I'm bringing, again, always a carry-on bag and a personal bag, which is my camera bag. So yeah, I know I've seen people with like crazy heavy luggage, and I'm like, yikes, like I don't know how you do that. Plus checking in the bag costs more money and it takes a lot more time to check in. So we want to go through the airport really quick and seamless and get to it, man. But guys, thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast. I thank you guys all. Appreciate all the support that you guys have given me. It's been an insane trip so far, an insane ride with you guys as well. I just hoping that I'm providing enough value for you guys. If you guys have any questions in regards to the gear that I use or if anything camera related, feel free to send me a DM. I've been loving all the DMs I've been getting, guys. Please keep sending me DMs. Feel free to start a conversation with me. I'm not too cool for school. I will carry that conversation with you guys. But yeah, again, if you guys are interested in any of the gear that I use for this specific trip, links will be in the description. Feel free to check them out. They're affiliate links from Amazon. It's not going to cost extra money for you. It's just an affiliate. I just get a little cut. That's it. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Live from Paris, France. Bonjour. How do you say thank you so much? We'll catch you guys later. Peace.